What if you took a cheesecake like a New York cheesecake and said, hey, I want to make it a soufflé? I was in Japan recently. We went to a number of these huge indoor markets, like 40-foot high ceilings, hundreds of shops. One of them sold Japanese cheesecake, a ton of people in line. And they popped out 6 cheesecakes about every 5 minutes with a whole crew working behind them. You could see it jiggle. That's how light it is. It's absolutely unbelievable. I think I ate half of it for dinner. So it was absolutely that good. And also tasted great the next day as well. It's like a soufflé marries a cheesecake. So the first step in almost any cheesecake recipe is using cream cheese. This is a crazy recipe. So guess what? We're gonna melt the cream cheese in a saucepan. A little butter, salt, and some milk. We're gonna heat this until it melts, and that's gonna be our base. So it doesn't use a ton of cream cheese compared to most recipes, and that's a very unusual base for a cheesecake. Really smooth. Okay. So what do you need for souffle? You need beaten egg whites. The 2 things you can add to egg whites that help stabilize them, make them really creamy and hard to destroy when you're folding them into a batter is something acid. We just added lemon juice. The other thing is sugar. And if you add a fair amount of sugar to the egg whites, it'll stabilize them, make them creamy. Egg whites that don't have sugar in them tend to be thin and bubbly, almost like soap bubbles in a sink. When you add sugar, you get a nice, thick, creamy foam. And that foam is very stable. That's it for me. It's called droopy peak. We want a droopy peak. Now we have to finish up the base. So we need to add some flour for structure, no lumps, egg yolks go in, and vanilla. We're gonna put in a little lemon zest as well. You can see how creamy these are. They're not foamy, they're creamy. It's almost like whipped cream, right? So all the lift in this recipe is coming from the whites, right? So I'm gonna be careful about how I do this. I'm not gonna beat it up. We've obviously seasoned this pan, but we've made a collar with parchment paper because it's gonna rise up above the side of the pan. Get out of the air bubbles. So this goes into a roasting pan. Now I don't love water baths. I try to avoid them, but this recipe definitely needs it. It's such a delicate cake. You need a really nice, even heat. The steam in the oven is also gonna help cook. The reason you only do it halfway is if you do it too high and you're moving the roasting pan, you can get water to slosh into the cake pan, which is not going to be good. Now we're going to put it in an oven and we're going to turn it down to 300. So that goes into the oven for a little over an hour. Open the oven door, turn the oven off, and let it sit in an additional 15 minutes.
Why do we do that?
Because as much as you need even heat to heat it all the way up, you need it even and slow cooling down as well. If you took it out of the oven and it's hot, it could collapse.
You cut away that parchment paper on top, that collar, and then you take the cake out, you invert it, and then revert it back onto a serving platter. It's very delicate. When you cut it, you're just using very little pressure. So let's admire our work. Nothing like traditional New York cheesecake. So melt in your mouth. What else can I say? This is so good. The other thing is, you know, it's not too rich and it's not too sweet. It has just the right amount of sweetness in it. SpongeBob would like this cake. He would absolutely love it. Oh, that's really good. It's been a great morning, folks.